Welcome to Torah 2. How do we achieve true freedom? The Rebbe explains that faith sets us free. The question is, how do we develop that faith? He elegantly lays out some questions in Parshas Bo and proceeds to answer them by delving into the secrets of Torah called Chabad Hasidus, in order to make sense of the questions, and then gives us a directive in today's day and age and how we can achieve freedom. The last plague in Egypt was different from the other 9 plagues in that Moshe told Paro that it would happen at midnight, and none of the other plagues had a time specified. In addition, the Jews were told to stay indoors and place the blood of circumcision and the blood of the Pesach sacrifice on the doorposts of their homes. In none of the other plagues, the Jews have to take protective measures, as the plagues only affected the Egyptians. The 9 other plagues were not meant to punish, but rather to make the Egyptians aware of the awesome power of God. So the Jews were aware of God, so they didn't need plagues to teach them that lesson. However, the last plague was punishment. It was death. Now the Jews had sunk so low spiritually that they were almost the same as the Egyptians. So the agent of destruction could accuse the Jews of being the same as the Egyptians and worthy of punishment. According to III Acharon, which is defined in Chabad Hasidus as the chain-like manifestation of godliness from the spiritual to physical worlds, the Jewish firstborn should have died along with the Egyptian firstborn. So why should the Jews be protected? The reason why the Jews were protected is because they drew down a level of godliness which is above Seder Ishtalshalos, above reason and logic. This was exemplified by the time of the plague happening at midnight. The first half of the night represents severity. The second half represents kindness. At midnight, both tendencies are fused, and this is possible because this level of godliness is above Seder Ishtalshalos, because the fusion of both is only possible when the influence transcends both. Thus, at this time, God expressed his essential love for the Jewish people, which can't be challenged by reason or logic. Although God has an essential love for Jews, the Jewish people still had to perform a divine service that paralleled God's love that went beyond reason and logic. First, circumcision. This represents a Jew's essential connection with God. This is why we are commanded to perform circumcision on a child at 8 days of age, even though the baby has no understanding in the matter. Second, Jews took a lamb, an Egyptian god, and held it for 4 days in full view of the Egyptians and sacrificed it. This required self-sacrifice above reason and logic. When the Jews placed the bloods on their doorposts, they showed their essential faith in God and drew down godly light that was above Seder Ishtalshalos into this world. This is why they were spared and became free of Egypt. In order for the spirit to be free, the body and the materiality surrounding the body must be free as well. Thus, the body achieved freedom with circumcision, and the materiality surrounding the body, our portion in this world represented by the Pesach sacrifice, had to be redeemed as well. Just like in the redemption from Egypt, we too will be redeemed by the merit of faith. Despite the overwhelming darkness of the present exile, we need to arouse our faith that Mashiach is fast approaching. The Rebbe's directive is that we must strengthen our faith by studying the teachings of Chabad Hasidus as shown in this talk, because this study reveals the power of faith and internalizes it into our intellect, enabling it to affect all our potentials that can cause a change in one's emotional characteristics. As we spread Hasidus beyond ourselves, as alluded to by the Pesach sacrifice, we will hasten the coming of Mashiach. May it be in the immediate future.